because I have a very serious problem with cooking for myself healthily at home. And the way that I figured out to solve that is by, when I buy groceries, immediately washing, portioning, and organizing everything. So I just got back from grocery shopping, and I got some nice healthy goods, like some beets and zucchini. Some things need more portioning and organizing than other things, but I generally like to, wash them so they're already washed. I put them in containers. I like to use these glass containers and put those in the fridge and have everything ready for an easy grab, because what happens is when I get hangry, like so many others, I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to think. And then my go-to is grabbing these like gluten-free healthy granola bars. But yeah, it's not always like the best choice, right? Especially when we're trying to conceive. You really want to be focusing on like the dark leafy greens and foods that give you all the different nutrients that you require. So I'm going to show you sort of what my process looks like. All right, so the first thing that I did was I obviously washed all my fruits and veggies. I washed my hands first and foremost, and then I washed all my fruits and veggies. And before I start, I usually like to usually when you're going grocery shopping, before you even start grocery shopping, you should have an idea of what you need and what you plan on doing with the food that you're buying, because otherwise you end up with a lot of waste. So when I went out, I was mostly focused on snacks, because I work and spend most of the day at home, and therefore I need things that I can grab really quickly or I can make myself for lunch that are easy and healthy. So I started by washing all of the fruit and put those into a nice little container. I like to mix my berries, so I have a mix of blackberries and raspberries in here. And then if I need to, sometimes I make kale salads. It's really good with some like blackberries, sliced almonds, and red onion. So then I'll just pick those out. But the intention here for me was a snack. And then I moved on to some veggies, because that's really the only fruit that I bought. When you have endometriosis like I do, it's not a good idea to have a lot of sugar. So, well, actually that's a lie. I did get pears. Sorry. I got pears. I just washed those and they're just ready to juice. I use those kind of to sweeten up some of my juices, because my juicing usually is heavy on kale and spinach and things like that. So, but when you have endometriosis, you want to try and limit your sugar intake. You don't want to have like a lot of apples or a lot of pears or strawberries or things like that have a lot of, I think strawberries maybe are okay. I should actually look that up. But I know for sure that things like raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries are really, really good because they're not as high in sugar. So I I love blackberries and raspberries, so that's what I usually buy. Otherwise, I bought all veggies. So I got some kale. I'm a huge kale fan. Some people hate it. I don't understand it. I bought a head of the kale because I don't like to buy the pre-washed stuff. I ended up washing that anyways because there have been incidences where they were contaminated. So I think it's a good idea if you buy, even when it says triple wash, still to wash it. So it's more expensive than buying a bunch. Why not buy a bunch and wash it and portion it for yourself? So that's what I did, because when you're buying so much organic and healthy foods, it can get really pricey. But I have there's two stalks in here that I left as stalks, and those will be used for juicing, and the rest is actually torn up and literally ready to make a salad with. You can see that it's actually like little, that's a bigger one, but little small, they're mostly about that size pieces in there. So that was my kale. And then, things like asparagus, I just washed them, cut off the butts. And when I packaged these in the Ziploc, I just made sure to get as much air out of the packaging as possible so that they stay fresh as long as possible. I got zucchini. Zucchini I love many, many different ways. My favorite is probably just in medallion form, grilled on the stovetop with a little bit of coconut oil and some salt and pepper, and it's good to go. I could just eat a whole bowl of that and be happy for a meal. I also sometimes will use the spiralizer and make it as kind of a noodle, which is really, really tasty. If you haven't bought a spiralizer, I highly suggest you do. They're really awesome. But in this case, I just cut them into sort of sizable chunks that I could do as I please. I can do them into strips, I can do them into sort of half medallions. I can't probably spiralize these, I don't think that would work. But I was planning on doing this as a side dish, not as sort of a noodly kind of dish. Same thing with the beets, I just kind of cleaned up the beets and put those also in a glass container. I like these glass containers a lot. I think it's way better than using plastic because the bacteria and everything can seep into the plastic a lot more readily than it can glass, so I feel like it's just a bit healthier. Celery. So celery I use for both snacks and juicing. So you can, you know, I cut them basically in half, clean them up, scrub them really well, and I can grab these out just to have with some hummus. I can grab these out, put some almond butter on them, or I can use them for juicing. So they're kind of versatile. I don't really need to do much with those. It's ready to go. Easy peasy. For the cucumber, I did it two ways. So I have just a half cucumber right here. This will be used for juice probably later today, so I'm not even really worried about wrapping it right at this moment. And the rest of them I did sort of little medallions again. Really great for a quick grab snack. Some hummus, some carrots, whatever, maybe some gluten-free crackers with some of my nut cheese. Really yummy. And then speaking of carrots, I did carrots in two sort of packaging portions. I did a glass case that I can use for when I'm at home. And then sometimes when I'm running out the door or I'm running late and I've forgotten to eat or have a healthy, I don't have a healthy snack, or I'm going to be out for a while and I need something to be able to have a healthy snack, I just did like a little 8 carrot-ish baggies for myself so that I can grab those out. And yeah, that was, I mean, I guess that's all that I got. When I am going, I know a lot of people don't usually use the plastic bags, but for me, I'm very much pro-environment and I'm trying to reduce my footprint. But we have a dog, and so I just kind of throw all these baggies together that I had, put them in a bunch, put them in my dog drawer, and then we can use these to pick up after our pup. So yeah, that's I mean, it's pretty quick. It doesn't take very long, and it makes it so that I know that I'm going to have a healthy snack readily available if I open up the fridge. I don't know about you guys, but I get hangry, and I just do not want to deal with it. I want to open my fridge, and if I don't see something like staring back at me, it's over. I also, at Costco, they have these pre-portioned hummus, and they're pretty healthy. They're not the best. I'd rather make my own hummus, but that being said, they're pre-packaged. Open it up. It's a perfect portion, and I'm done. And I don't have to worry about the whole thing getting crusty, and I'm a very picky eater, and so when it looks like it's a little crusty, it's got a little bit moldy or whatever, I kind of get a little, I'm gonna get sick. So I like it to be like these nice little portions so that I know that it's fresh and it hasn't expired and it hasn't had all this air bacteria contaminating it. So that's me being crazy. That's not necessary. It's absolutely fine to eat the hummus, but not if it has bacteria. But I mean, for the most part, even if it looks a little crusty in some areas, it's fine to eat. That's my own little personal quirk, I guess. But anyways, that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. If you have any questions, let me know in your comments and I'll try and get back to you. And I hope I covered as much as was necessary, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.